are the other services that are critical to the success of your business and can be embedded on our platform. To be able to help your day-to-day operations of your business. And even what do you think your business is going to look like in 2 years, in 3 years, in 5 years? So we want to be part of that transformational journey. Of how your business is going to look like in 3, 4, 5 years. And how does that impact your own personal life? And the reason why we're embedding things like insurance, buy now, pay later into the platform is to also, enable access to insurance, access to finance for these merchants so that it can have an impact in their life and also help pivot their business into the future. As the core players in the distribution space. We want to make sure that we are part of that transformational journey for the merchants.
So in this case, not only MarketForce that grows, but also the users of MarketForce also grows with you. So would you say you guys are going deep rather than wider? That is, you're not looking to scale so fast in 54 countries, but you're looking to, like, if you get into a market, you're able to go to tier 2 cities, make sure that you go deep. Is that the strategy?
Yeah, I think the formula is normally a mix of two, because you can't go wide in a market before you actually understand how the market behaves. I think, as Tesh mentioned, and as everybody actually knows, Nigeria is different from Kenya. Kenya is different from Tanzania. Tanzania is different from Uganda. There is similarities, but even from a culture perspective, it's from how people just consume goods, what is the trust level, what's the penetration of technology, it's always different. So you always need to go into a market, understand the market by going deeper and then go wide with some depth. So I feel like in this case you actually have to do both. But because to have impact also you have to be
wide. So you guys met the president of Kenya. What did you guys discuss? I don't know if you are there, but I saw this chief with the William Ruto. Is it?
We were discussing the future of retail.
We told him merchants are the true hustlers.
The true hustlers, and we need to. We talked about the power of aggregation, which is what we're doing. Before, merchants would need to close the shop, go to the nearest market to find products. What we're basically saying is we need to develop aggregation centers or platforms such as MarketForce, where we can, through which we can lower the cost of distribution and as a result lower the cost of living of Kenyans. And that's something.
Do you think the guy listens?
I believe so.
From your, because even
I believe so. I mean, we have a very strong public-private partnership with the government.
Nice.
That where we are distributing essential goods to the population, and we're doing some good volume so far. So I believe they are listening, and I'm seeing a lot of strong. The government is now strongly working with startups across various industries, from fintech to retail distribution to healthcare. That they are putting tech in the forefront of creating these solutions that will impact the masses, which is something different. It's a breath of fresh air.
I mean, but the reason even I'm asking this is that recently people are like calling him Mheshimiwa Lies. Is it Mheshimiwa? Yeah, Mheshimiwa Lies. I think he says one thing and then the next time he's saying a different thing, like even with the gas and all that. But of course, a politician is a politician, right? But the other day we were in the county and everyone is like trying to digitize everything, right? I feel like if government actually does this successfully, there's so many opportunities that they can create just by tech only. But beyond that, there's always a ripple effect in African ecosystems, right? That if tech works, maybe other things can work. And I'll give an example, and you guys can chime in as we conclude. I've been to Netherlands, and Netherlands is a big farmer, just after US, right? And the reason why their farming works is because there is tech embedded. Like you can get a loan as you grow the crop, and the bank can recover the loan when you sell the crop, or when actually someone sells the product in the supermarket. That just shows you how much actually tech can become a real enabler, and that's just one industry. Now talk about automobile industry, talk about industrialization, talk about manufacturing. There's so much actually that if tech works and we have the policies that actually support that, ecosystem to work, there's so many things that could change. Because I feel for us actually Africans to get out of the hoods, we need to be producers, because we are consuming a lot. And you guys can agree, right? Most of the things we are consuming we're not producing most of them. I'm not saying it's bad to import most of the things, but also we should be able to export value-added products, and I feel like tech would really contribute.
Yeah. I think that's embedded in the core of the current government policy. Yeah. I think always the thing to wait for is how well they implement. And one thing that I remember interestingly during the session with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers that the president mentioned is that even looking at East Africa as an ecosystem, Kenya as a leading economy should stop scrambling for just production with the neighbors. So he said, for example, he does not want to hear us complaining about cheap milk importation from Uganda. We should be adding value to our milk and exporting value-added milk out of the country, and we can consume Uganda's milk and even add value to it and export. So I think in terms of ideas and policies to grow the economy, the government has good ideas. I think the question is really going to go into the implementation of these policies. And I think, to say that I believe generally as entrepreneurs, we are here to add value.
Absolutely.
Both the ecosystem and even the government by providing solutions. So just to encourage the government to involve entrepreneurs more, and be given a platform to share our ideas, and generally how we can help the government with being able to implement some of those ideas that they have. Because, for example, I think there's a very good use of technology in enabling that ecosystem of import-export and creating visibility in it, also to just show where we are gaining value, where we are losing value. So I think that generally the ideas are there. Where we might be struggling a little bit is in the implementation of those ideas themselves.
So if you're able to clean the pipelines, we could really make a good stride in that case. In that. But what is your take on AI, guys? Maybe I should ask this. What's your take? Is MarketForce embedding AI in the platform?
So we're thinking about some of the things that we might be able to do. We haven't yet started focusing on how we're going to exactly use AI, but I do think that in most of the spaces there is room to actually embed AI to improve both efficiency and speed of execution in most of the things.
And also patterns, because of course, if I think about it quickly, as you scale and as you grow, patterns will become really a good pointer to where you should focus more, or even the customer should focus more, even which goods they could really add value in their supply chain. There's so much actually that would come in that. But anyway, you are the guys who are building the platform. So you want to put something about AI? No? People are losing jobs. So something else that I wanted us to conclude with this in this discussion is to ask you guys, do you think when you because you guys have really gone into African market and tried to scale, brick and mortar, you are on the ground like, this has to work in this town, we have to figure a way for it to work. Do you think sometimes it's just people don't understand your solution? it's not because it's not for them. It's just they don't understand. They don't feel like, you're solving their problem that really some startup could not even scale.
So I think always I always agree with this thing that says the customer is always right.
Yeah.
I think if the customer says that your solution is not working for them, you either pivot to something that works for the customer.
Yeah.
And the way we do that at MarketForce is through hyper-localization.
Okay.
In the sense that, sometimes just the process of how you do things might work in Kenya, and sometimes even in Nairobi, but not work in Kisumu, which is a town outside of Nairobi.
Yeah.
So you will always find those nuances in the different markets because the culture, Africa is very culturalized differently across. So, you have to have a business that adopts to those cultures. I do not think that necessarily, for example, our solution, gets that issue of like, this is not for me, because we're serving a real need in the market.
Yeah.
But the way you giving out that solution, because remember, tech is never the solution. Tech is an enabler.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So for the merchant, what they care about is, I need to get my goods in time.
Yeah.
What are the other supporting factors around getting those goods? There is buy now, pay later. There is the insurance. There is being able to sell
transport.
virtual financial services and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's about how you're delivering that experience, and you're using technology in that. So if the customer says the way your technology is working today doesn't work for me because maybe I need bundles are expensive in my country, right?
Yeah.
Or if the payment, for example, which we do a lot of payment through mobile money, in some countries the fees are up to 3.5%, and margins in FMCG are anywhere between 2% and 5%. So there is no way a merchant is gonna be able to use your fancy mobile payment service and lose 3.5% of their margin. In that process.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to the merchant and provide a solution that works, because at the end of the day, technology is not the solution. It's the experience that you create, the technology that matters to those merchants.
Oh, you have covered it well for anyone who is starting this business. I think what's your take or final shots on this?
Yeah, I think what I'd say is, just to sum up what he said, Mesongo said, if you're building for the African market, get in the ring, talk to customers, understand what they need, and build. There's definitely a lot of opportunity in the continent and a lot of talent. But I feel like, unfortunately, so many people get caught up in the problems and the challenges. And that makes a lot of people spend time complaining, whining, crying. Instead of getting in the ring and fighting, because there is no other solution. We just have to get in there and solve the problems. So just to urge anyone who can see an opportunity, has the brain power, has the energy, get in the ring and let's build a better continent.
True. Chief, what's your parting shots?
I think mine is to say a great thank you to you for hosting us. It's been an interesting
You're welcome
discussion.
anytime, bro. anytime. Yeah.
And we're always happy to share the journey and keep encouraging others that want to join us in changing the face of the continent.
So for me also, it's just thank you guys for honoring the invite. I know you guys are really busy guys, and it's for good, because most of the time you guys are trying to find new ways, share your knowledge, reach out to different markets, and finding time to come here, spend this time sharing your knowledge is a great honor, guys. I know you guys where you have come from, so I understand the journey is really, crazy, right? And also to say that, if you're an entrepreneur out there, you're thinking about building a business, the only way to know that it doesn't work is just to build it and it fails. And what's the worst case scenario anyway? Is this to fail and start again? And if you are doubting all this, there's Mesongo and Tesh who are saying, okay, we built the first time, it failed. We built the second time, it didn't work out. Maybe even there are other third times and fourth times, right? And I'm sure even you all share the journey of building side hustle projects where maybe the client is not happy anyway. But that does not discourage you from, going on and building some solution that Africans could reckon with, and it has the potential to scale in 54 countries in Africa. Keep going, guys. There's so many guys who are looking up to you. You might look like it's just a small fee, but there's so many guys in Africa. I'm not talking about Kenya, in Africa, who are looking up to you and saying like, oh my goodness. One day I want to be Mesongo. Maybe one day I want to be Tesh. One day I want to build that solution. So as you build this solution, as you go through this journey, feel like you're not just building for you. You're building for everyone in Africa. And just to wish you all the best in everything that you do, but also you're welcome here anytime. I think we just covered the first phase of this. I'm sure we're going to host more sessions. And just to say thank you. And for the guys who are listening on these Impact Masters podcasts, featuring Africa Stocking podcasts, and I would encourage you to subscribe, follow, like, share, activate the notification bell, and also comment and ask questions. If you ask enough questions, I'll invite these guys to answer all of them. We're on YouTube as Impact Masters Media, and also Africa Stocking HQ, and all podcasts channels such as Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Google Podcasts. Check out Impact Masters and Africa Stocking Podcasts. From me, your host, Michael Kimathi, is just to thank you and say see you next time.